Well, good afternoon everybody. You join me back on the channel and today we're working on, as you can probably tell, another Fiat 500. Now this car comes with a bit of an interesting story. So it's got an intermittent engine management light. The car runs perfect, runs absolutely flawless. It's had a new map sensor, so intake manifold pressure sensor, but very intermittently every now and then the engine management light will pop back up complaining of an electrical issue within the sensor itself. And also a wee bit more to add to the story of this one is it was in the Fiat dealership and they says they wanted to put an engine harness on it, but they couldn't get an engine harness, so that's why they've washed their hands with it, and now it's with me. If you look here, you can see that we've got at the moment the engine management light is on. We're just monitoring the map sensor itself. Don't worry about that temperature value. I think that's just something's wrong in the software side of the actual top-down machine. But I will show you the fault code that we've got at the moment. So go to DTC. You can see there, intake manifold, pressure sensor, electrical test, circuit short to ground. Now, what I'm going to do is clear that fault code, take it a run, and see if the fault will come back up, if I can get it to kind of play up at any point. But yeah, let's just do that. I'll come back to you once, or if the fault comes back up. So what I'm going to do is just click clear DTCs. So fault memory has been cleared. Okay, going to read fault code. We've got nothing at the minute. We've obviously still got our TPMS lights. I take it that's because it's sending sort of errors along the sort of network. So that's probably the reason for that. But we're not going to clear them at the moment. We're just going to take it a run, see if the map sensor will play up. So I've just went a short distance and you can see that the map sensor has dropped massively down to nothing. Our engine management light is currently on, so we can confirm that there's definitely some form of electrical issue in this wiring loom. Why Fiat wanted to replace the full loom, I don't know. Maybe this is a common issue. If it is a common issue and anybody that works on Fiats or at the dealership, let me know. This is the hybrid version. Don't know what engine's in it, but it is a hybrid. Are the engine harnesses on these bad for going, or is it just this car that's maybe had this fault? I'm not too sure. But sometimes the dealership have got their hands tied. They're not allowed to actually look through wiring looms and just end up, it's in their best interest to just put a new one on it. But in this case, they couldn't get a new one, so that's where, or that's why I am here, I should say. But I've got an EML on now. We can confirm it. It's actually back to normal. It's reading 311 millibars. Don't know how accurate that is on this machine, but yeah, what we're going to do is take it back, and I think I am going to do a wiggle test of the wiring loom while watching live data, and we'll see if anywhere in that loom, if we wiggle it, will this graphing mode drop out. If not, then is it the wiring loom or is it a fault internal to the actual engine ECU? Right, you need to excuse the wind noise, but it's very, very wet and windy today, so I'm just going to show you the layout of this engine. So right down here on the inlet manifold, you can see we've got the map sensor. That runs along this loom, runs underneath this intake box, runs up here into your engine ECU. So it isn't a terrible loom to actually, visually inspect. It's just obviously it's tight in places, but you can see our map sensor sits down there in a nice wee spot. So right now we've just got the ignition on. Come on, focus, focus. Right, I think we're focused now. No, we are not. Right, there we go. So we're at round about atmospheric pressure now. So what I'm going to do is just go around the loom. Now I don't know how you're actually going to see this, but I'm just going to give the loom a wiggle, see if we can see any changes. Oh, look at that. You see that drop out there? That dropped out straight away just by wiggling that loom. So that area, let me try it again. So I'm giving it a little wiggle now. There we go, there's another dropout. Fantastic. So our area of concern, I believe, is going to be in this area here, unless I'm pulling up and it's tugging something further along. So what I'm going to do in this case is take off the air filter box and see if I can disconnect as many of these sensors as I can, so I can lift up the loom and have a visual inspection on it. Right, so this is a little bit crazy. I thought I located where the potential short was, or the issue with the actual wiring, but I've opened it up and there's nothing really obvious or visible that I can see, but I'll show you what I thought might have been causing the issue. So if you look down there, you can see that shiny part there on the throttle body housing. So I thought originally that the loom might have been rubbing, and you can see there it was slightly rubbing through, but nothing that would have caused a direct shot to ground. But that's when I stumbled upon this. So I've got the ignition on right now, and at the moment we should be near atmospheric pressure. So if I give that loom a little tap, and all I'm doing right here is just lifting that up. So up, down, give it another little pull, and you can see there it's all over the place. I'm just trying to locate, possibly it's got to be somewhere in this kind of short bit of harness here that just goes direct to the ECU, because it doesn't come out this end, I don't believe. I'll give that a wiggle. Oh, you can see it jump up there. Look at that. So it's back up to atmospheric pressure. If I move that again, just try and keep an eye on the live data, drops. So what I'm going to do is switch ignition off, disconnect the engine ECU harness. I'm going to unravel all this tape and see if I can locate or visually see the exact point of failure. Unless, is that meant to be like that? So there is a bit of tape in there. I don't know if that's meant to be like that. Can you see that in there? I would imagine it would be, because it's all original sort of tape that's been on it. It's not as if someone's been in there before. But what I'm going to do is just let me do a visual myself, and I'll come back to you with the, well, hopefully with the results. Sometimes I really surprise myself. So I've located where the brake is, and I'll just spin these around to show you. So this orange wire right here, you can see it's an orange with a white tracer. Gave that a wee pull. In fact, is it that one? It's a white with orange tracer. So I gave that a pull. Doink. Look at that. So the brake is in this twist here. So from factory they must just be too tight in there, and it's pulling on the wires. So I'm going to unravel all of this tape, starting round about here, repair it, then tape it back up with the same tape. And as Bob would say from RMS Diagnostics, job's a carrot. So I thought I would show you this as well, because this is absolutely shocking. This is what you're paying. I mean, I don't know how much one of these are new, especially a hybrid. I don't know, maybe 18 grand or something, maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more, I'm not sure. But look at the way the wiring's been taped up from factory. Look at the twist in that wire. And then if you look here, this was not me cutting the loom open. You can see all the twists in that wire as well. That's open now to the elements, so that will eventually get some form of moisture in there and corrode. But with this wire here belongs in here, so it's actually splitting off, so it must be like a power supply or something, I'm not too sure. But you can see it goes into a heat shrink there and then splits off, so you've got probably one in one end and then it splits off into the three. So what I'm going to need to do is just open up this portion so that wire doesn't run here. I'd imagine it goes back to the fuse box and supplies the map sensor with a 12 volt ignition feed or battery feed or whatever they want to call it. But we're going to need to open this loom up a wee bit further, extend this wire and make sure it's all buttoned up properly and taped up again. So I've stripped this portion of the loom apart, and no wonder this has been under stress. So look at the way this actually runs. That is pulled into there, into this loom, rather than just taping it up into the one loom. This right here is constantly under stress because it's tied into the opposite loom here. So I'll show you the repair that I've done. I've just cut out the old join, the old heat shrink. I think it's a heat shrink. It looks like some sort of cool seal or something like that, I'm not too sure. Sorry, I just got diverted there. I thought someone was coming over to talk to us. So I've done the repair. Don't usually show the repairs because there's always somebody out there that basically knows better. But this is the way I've done it, and it's the right way to do it in my sort of eyes anyway, so I'll show you. So what I've done is I've extended the cable, obviously, made the main join there, so the two wires are twisting into there. Then my cable, I've left a wee bit of length on it, runs up, runs around there. Then the other join is just in that heat shrink tubing there. Now the heat shrink tubing that I use is the stuff with the glue in it, so creates a good seal. And I'm going to be obviously using the proper loom tape to tape all this up, and it will look as if nobody's been in there. So let me crack on with that. I'll give you a shout when that's done. So we've got everything all built up apart from the air filter box. It's all loom taped, so let me know in the comments what you think of that repair. Does it look alright? Does it look absolutely rubbish? I would say that looks not too bad, to be honest. So down here you can see, or maybe you can't see because it's clear, I've put a bit of Dodo mat. It's like a sound deadening material, clear stuff. I've just put that under there so it can't rub on there at all. So that's all nicely fresh taped up as well. Got the keys here, so what I'm going to do is just start the car up. So starts right up. Obviously we've got a ton of warning lights on the dash, so I'll just move these over here. Hopefully you can see that. So our map sensor's reading back to the way it should. Going to read fault codes. In fact, what we'll do is we'll go out of there, refresh it, we'll do a high speed scan, then we'll clear all the fault codes, and then we'll leave it running for a bit. But I think we will take it for a run, may as well. It's a bit daft naughty. So you can see we've got a bunch of stuff now. I don't know if the ABS fault's going to be in correlation because it's got an engine warning on. Probably is going to be, but we'll find out. So done the health scan pretty quickly there. It's gone to ABS. Yeah, so there we go. We have got a C122186 engine control module signal invalid, and our BCM is also reporting a BCAN fault, which I'm not interested in. So low pressure EGR valve, what's happening here? Low pressure EGR valve H bridge Okay, don't like that. That might have just been because I had the ECU disconnected, I hope. So we've managed to get rid of most of the warning lights. TPMS light, I don't know if you can reset that on this. I will sure check that out, or it might need a run to reset, but yeah, we'll leave it running for a bit, see if the fault codes come back. If not, job's a good one, and yeah, we'll call that a day. Right, so I've basically took the Fiat a run. I've let it idle for quite a while as well, and it is spot on. So that's all it was just that wire with the tightness in so it's like a sort of three-way split, so one wire going in, three wires going out, or two wires, I can't remember how many wires it was now, but I'll just show you here. You can see that it's going to be the opposite way around, but the health scan has came back clear. No warning lights on the dash, which I'll show you in a minute. In fact, I'll show you that right now. So you can see there, a nice clear warning dash, a nice clear instrument cluster. I also reset the TPMS through that as well, because the engine warning was setting off what I like to call data bus errors, which was obviously bringing on the ABS light plus the TPMS light as well. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Was this just down to the dealership not testing properly? Was it down to the dealership knowing that this was going to be the issue? Even though they says it needs a wiring loom, it only needed a wiring loom after they knew that it needed, after they knew that the sensor has been fitted. So do dealerships get time to strip down the wiring loom, or do they just get told it needs a wiring loom? But then if the dealership couldn't get one, why did they make no effort to actually find where the brake was? So let me know what you guys think of that, your opinions on that. Is it just down to lack of dealership training on how to find electrical faults, or is it just because they more or less can't be bothered and they just want to fire a new loom onto it, which is going to cost, I don't know how much a loom would cost for one of these, probably over $1,000 anyway, but doesn't bear the fact that you can't get one. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm going to wrap this video up here, guys. If you can, remember and click that subscribe button, like the video as well, that always helps. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.